Brandon moves all in current events.
Let's look at this hand. Everybody's limping.
Day 4 of the
Tom
$1 million
at
game.
straddle ace
Pretty
queen.
Sweet. Good action. We have had many
One limp
six-figure
call.
pots.
2 limp call.
A handful of pots over
Three
$500,000
limp call.
already. A lot of bluffing.
Will there be a big pot in this hand? Let's see the flop. Brandon hits set 4 again.
Texas Mike with top pair. Brandon with a set of
Brandon's
fours.
been lucky. 4th hand of the
Brandon
night
with
for
another
set.
2 sets in about 9 minutes. Steve's going to bet with absolutely
This
no
hand is
equity.
pure bluffing for Steve. Why didn't he bet 1,000? Because
Yes, I know
front
it says
seat, it's not what
4%.
he's used to.
But
Brandon calls first.
I'm
Let's
gonna
take a
call
look
that
at
no
Mike's
equity
top
right now.
pair of 9s. It has a flush draw on the board.
so Steve bets 28,000. Brandon just calls. Texas Mike.
135.
Mike's top pair raises.
Decides to raise to
He thinks Tom didn't bet.
135,000.
Wasn't have anything in hand. Steve doesn't trust him very much because he's not a good poker player.
And Brandon's
and
afternoon
Brandon
starting
just
to turn
chose to
around.
call.
It seemingly
He
all
doesn't
started
think
to turn
Brandon has
around
a
when he
strong
bluffed
hand,
the sixes.
but didn't think so.
When he
Brandon
bluffed
has a
Thomas
super strong hand set 4.
on the river. with
Brandon thinks to
sixes.
himself, here's chance.
He won
That's
that
the hand
pot.
that got you.
Then he won another
Win
nice
back the
pot with a set of
chips.
6s, and here he's got a set of 4s.
But Mike doesn't have a
And as you
very
can see
big
in the
hand
bottom left
either.
corner of your screen,
And this time, Brandon,
he is in
he's again at a
huge favor
disadvantage
to win the
relative to
hand.
Mike. Still have to think about this hand. If I call, what about a spade on the turn? No spades on the turn. What if your opponent doesn't bet?
on.
Brandon's all in on this hand.
And
So this
Brandon
all-in
moves
move for
all
Mike
in.
was, is it possible? That's when he's using his top pair to make a raise.
There are certainly
He
hands
thinks
that
Brandon
Texas
should
Mike
have a
can
flush
beat.
draw. Because Steve plays,
Problem
Brandon
is when
calls.
Texas Mike is
Brandon
behind,
is drawing
he's way
cards.
behind.
So now Brandon all in. It's more like drawing
So it's
flush.
588,000 to call.
This hand
Pot
is top pair
940.
against set.
Texas
The
Mike
odds of
not
winning
getting
are
2 to
very
1.
low. This is a hand that Mike can't think about.
That's 700.
Are you willing to believe that your opponent has a real hand? But the opponent flopped a check call.
720.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, guys. Just take a minute.
Take your time. Just make the wrong decision.
Yeah, I know. That's what's going to happen.
Mike says, sorry about that.
Facing
I'll
a
think about it for a while.
$723,000
Brandon
all in.
picked it
I
up
think we
right
can take
away.
a couple of minutes on
Think,
this one.
think.
Fascinating
Think
to
about
hear
your bad
Texas Mike kind of
decisions.
verbalize his thoughts.
The hand ended with Mike calling with top pair. Mike says 1 run. This one looks at the cards.
Texas Mike has just
I
made
don't
the
think
call.
we're going to need them even once.
He worked it out.
1.53
thought
million
about
in
it.
the
We
pot.
have a $1.5 million pot.
Brandon has
And
a
it's
hand
queen
back in
nine
the water.
versus set of 4s. Texas Mike drawing dead.
The turn is over. And for Mike,
3 of hearts on the turn ends
one
it for
hand
him.
back to the starting
And
stake.
that is a monster.
That's a
monster
big pot to
and
lose.
and just like
Mike's
that,
just a little
Brandon
bit
Stevens
underwater right
is
now.
now even. He's actually biggest pot of the night.
Both of them are
1.5
back to their
million.
original state. 1 million in chips. Brandon is mopped up for 500,000. This is a hand that I think, the moment Mike raised, he thinks the odds are that his opponent has a flush draw. Then his opponent pushes out. He feels more like hearing to flush. And then this hand, Mike thought, then I think I'm in, including Mike, who was playing a couple hands earlier. Day $1 million. And there were plenty of times when he was, it's about what range he thinks his opponent is. He's actually going to execute. He's been right all those times. So this one was wrong. Congratulations to Brandon for taking down the $1.5 million pot.